In this particular video, I will discuss about comparable and comparator. So what is a comparable interface? The standard way for a Java class to define the comparison function for its objects is to implement the comparable interface. So what happens is like we can sort the items only on the predefined data types. For class data types, we need to have a comparable interface. So how to define a comparable interface? So public interface comparable. So we have to implement a we have to implement a function so that the name of the function is compare to, which is going to take one of the parameter. So a call to a dot compare to b should return a value less than 0 if a comes before b in the ordering, should return value greater than 0 if a comes after b in the ordering, or exactly 0 if a and b are considered equal in the ordering. So this is the example here. A class point implements a comparable here, and if x is less than the other dot x, it should return -1. If x is greater than other dot x, so it should return 1, or if y is if we are taking two parameters x and y, if y is less than other dot y, should return -1. If y is greater than other dot y, it should return 1, or else it should return 0. So Java binary search method calls the compare to internally. So if you are using binary search, which is made from the Java, it is internally using the binary search. Okay. So we have a set function also, the tree set or the map function used to compare to internally for ordering. So the tree set uses the compare to function to order. So tree set will order the elements. So that is going to make use of the compare to function. So one more is the thing but the comparator. So public interface comparator. This is one more function to sort the class data types. So public in compare, we have a compare function which is going to take two parameters, first and the second. So interface comparator is an external object that specifies a comparison function over some other type of object here. So allows you to define the multiple orderings for the same type. So allows you to define the multiple orderings of the same type. Allows you to define a specific order for a type even if there is an obvious natural ordering of that type. So coming to the rectangle area comparator, so we have a compare function which is going to take two parameters, rectangle R1 and R2. So you should return R1 dot get area minus R2 dot get area. So we have implemented the compare function. So this is nothing but rectangle area comparator. So if depending upon the area, if you are going to sort, then we need to make use of the first comparator. If you are arranging by the means of x and y parameters, a rectangle will have a x and y. If you are doing it by x and y, then we need to make use of the rectangle xy comparator. So using the comparator, so binary search makes use of the comparator here. Even sort function makes use of the comparator. Binary search makes use of the comparator. Maximum and minimum and sort. So all these methods makes use of the comparator. So let us try to implement this in the Eclipse. So I'm in Eclipse window. Now I'm going to make use of some class here. My new Java, my new class. So this is the class I'm going to implement. So new array list integer. So this should be main function public static. So I'll add some integer. Let me see that whether the sorting will happen or not. So I'm going to add 50, 34, and I'll add 12, 100, and one more number, itr dot add 200. So I'm having five numbers here. Let me work whether the array list works for the simple data types. So I make use of collection dot sort. Okay. collection dot sort. Now I'm trying to display all the items from the array list. So I'll say int x. Okay. So idea. So I want to display all these numbers, whether they are sorted or not. Let me see this. So the list appears to be the sorted. So in this way, I can make use of the sort function here. Suppose say if I have a class, I'll say class student, okay, and I have two different data types like integer roll number of the student, and here you have the name of the student, okay, string this name, student name. Okay, I have the constructor, student constructor, which is going to take two parameters, roll number, comma string this name. So this dot roll number is equal to roll number. This dot is name is equal to its name. So I'm going to pass these values here. Okay. So now it is a student type. Whether it works, whether sorting will happen. If I want to sort based on the roll numbers, okay. If I want to sort based on the roll numbers, whether it works, I'm going to sort this. So this sorting function will not work for the student data type because it only works for the primitive data types. It won't work for the uh, other data types, complex data types. So here, if I say student here and I want to display the roll numbers as well as, so x dot the roll number, and again I want to display, I'll give some space, I will display the name of the student. Okay. So in order to do this, if I want to sort this, I have to implement the interface. So what is the name of the interface here? So implement comparable. Okay. Implement comparable. So this is the interface that we need to implement. So what is the method implements interface? So what is the method that I need to implement? So that is nothing but the compare to. So here it is showing that it is I have to implement the compare to. So here I will say integer public compare to. So now I need to pass one of the parameter here, student. Yes, okay. So I need to sort it according to the roll number. So this should be compared to small letter. So or else if roll number is greater than s dot roll number, so return 1. Okay, return 1, or else we need to return minus 1. Let me check it's working. Now it is not showing any error. Whether it is going to sort it according to roll numbers, let me see this. Okay, yes, we can see that the records are sorted according to the roll numbers. They are sorted according to the roll numbers. If I want to sort it depending upon the student name, okay, now I need to implement a different method. Okay, so now I need to say return So I need to say return s1 dot name, okay, and compare to function. Again, I need to use the compare to function. So let me run this. So now the records are sorted according to their names. Okay. So in this way, I can make use of the comparable interface. Now I need to make use of the comparator interface. So again, that is one more option that we are having. So I will say comparator. So now one more method we need to implement. So what is the method? Compare method. We have to implement a compare method. So here I have a compare method over here. Student S1. Okay. So let me try to have some different method. Okay. So I will say, I'll just cancel this out. So I will write two different classes. Okay. One is for the name comparator and one more is like age comparator. So here I will say implements comparator. Okay. So here I will say student. So I have to implement a compare functions. So I will say public. So it is going to return s1 dot s3 dot compare to s2 dot s3. So this is what it is going to return. So it must implement a uh, compare to function. So we have implemented compare function. Okay, student comma. So still it is showing error. So here it should be a small letter. Okay, so compare should be the small letter. So let me see whether it works. So I'm going to have to create a new method over here. So new n name comparator. So new name comparator. So I'm going to create a new object over here. Okay. So now I need to run this. So now it is getting sorted according to the roll numbers, according to the name. Okay. So it is getting sorted according to the name. So the next thing that we are trying to implement is like for the roll numbers. I want to do it for the roll numbers here. So class roll number, the comparator function. So implements comparator the student. So here I need to have a method here. So public int compare. Now I want to sort it according to the roll numbers. So student s1 comma student s2. Now if I say s1 dot roll number is same, both are same. So both are same. It is going to return 0. Okay. Or else if condition s1 dot roll number is greater than s2 dot roll number. If it is greater than s2 dot roll number, you're going to return 1. Okay. Else it is going to return -1. Now you can see that the it is sorted according to the roll numbers. Going to return minus. So this is how it is making use of the R comparator. So it implements the comparator operator, and here we are going to return these three things. So here I should return the this dot name.